My 9th Christmas, there was an acoustic guitar at the end of my bed. And I discovered jukeboxes and stuff like that. So I would go down and sit in the local coffee shop at 9 years old and play Wake Up Little Susie until the sun went down, you know, because the guitars I thought were amazing. And when you listen to it today, they still are, you know. How they recorded those guitars in those days, I don't know. But it was wonderful sound. And so the Everly Brothers and those harmonies that they used were more like bluegrass than anything else, but we didn't know that then. We found out there was a local speedway, another place where we might be able to sing. So we went down to the speedway. It was only about half a mile down the road from where we live. And there was a man sweeping up on the track, and we walked up to him and said, "Can we sing?" And so many things come to mind. And he said, "I don't know, this is a racetrack, you know, can you run at the same time?" So, no. He said, "Come back later on, come back on a Saturday night, and we'll see what can be done." And we did come back on the Saturday, and they were having stock car races. There was a microphone in the middle of the oval, and in between the major races, the last 2 major races, they allowed us to get up and sing on the PA system. This was the first time we ever sang outside to a large audience that had nothing to do with us whatsoever. You know, they came to see the races, and there's these 3 strange kids singing, you know, and they threw money on the track, which was wonderful. When not quite sure whether it was a compliment or whether they wanted to be run over, but we had to run out onto the racetrack and pick up the money, and I think we managed to pick up about £5 in coins, you know. And this was, oh my God, this is our first payday. One of the racing drivers, Bill Gates, who was a local DJ, asked if he could promote us. In those days, they didn't use the term management. Could I be your promoter, you know? And we thought, whatever that is, yeah, sure, you know. I'll be your promoter and I'll get you on the air and we'll do some recordings. And he had another gentleman with him called Bill Good. They were both racing drivers. Both of them had the initials BG. And that, along with our mother's initials being BG, my initials being BG, Brothers Gibb being BG, he came up with the suggestion that we call ourselves the Bee Gees.
But what good does it bring if I ain't got you? Ain't got you, baby. You don't know what it's like, baby. You don't know what it's like to love somebody the way I love you.
I always feel that the Bee Gees were 4 brothers. Andy was a bright spark and a lovely kid, you know, but he'll always be 30, you know, and that's how you have to think of it.
Build my world around you, darling. This love will shine you. Watch it and see. If you give a little more than you're asking for, your love will turn the key. I just want to be your everything. Open up the heaven in your heart and let me be the things you are to me, and not some puppet on a string.
Morris was very extrovert, had his own problems in life, but told everybody about them. Robin was a great thinker, you know, and a great warrior. Robin would go from one end of the spectrum to the other. You know, he could be the funniest person you've ever known to the most unhappy person you've ever known. I'm more like the guy who tried to watch out for everybody because I'm the eldest, you know, and you assume that role. So I did, and all through life, that was sort of that's what I had to do.
And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave, and it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn.
father wanted to be famous. Our father wanted to be a big band drummer, and he had his own band. And I think he was able to live that through us. His music ability, as they say, it's in the genes. You know, whatever he was is really what we are. Dad did the one thing that a lot of parents don't do. I see it with tennis parents. I see it with, he let us be the Bee Gees. He didn't try to make us into anything. He just watched us grow, and because the clubs and the hotels we were working in, we were too young to work in, it was his responsibility to be with us when we did those shows. Otherwise, we could not have done those shows. So he became our manager in that sense. We used to drive sometimes hundreds of miles to do one show. He nurtured us along, and that was his strength. His strength was just always being there. Even if he didn't make that point, his children did, and he was there when it happened. What happened with Andy was always abstract. The medical story is that his heart was very bad, but he had lived a lifestyle that, you know, very few of us in the family even knew about. So, what would you call it? The LA lifestyle. We lost Mo in 48 hours, from being perfectly, you know, spirited, normal guy, as wacky as he always was, you know, to suddenly becoming gravely ill, and we just lost him. The situation with Rob was different, because I always felt something was wrong with Rob. And if something's really wrong with you, you don't want everyone to know. Nobody really ever knew what the three of us felt, or what the three of us thought about each other. Only the three of us knew. It was such a unifying thing. The three of us became like one person. You know, we all had the same dream, and, you know, that's what I remember more than anything else. And that's what I miss more than anything else.
Love somebody the way I love you. That'll do.